Hi there, welcome to this groundbreaking session for owners on how to solve complex problems across your project lifecycle. On behalf of Procore, I'd like to thank you for joining us. Before we get started, I'd like to take a moment to remind you that throughout Groundbreak, we may be sharing forward-looking statements about our products or business. Please make sure that you're making purchasing decisions based on what is available today. And if you'd like to read the full text of the Safe Harbor statement, you can find it on our website. So let's get started. My name is Robert Reynolds, and I'm a product marketing director here at Procore and the host of this session. As owners, especially those of you in very specialized industries, your business needs can be extremely complex. You're very likely in a continual process of evaluating your processes and tools, looking for optimizations to help you better improve productivity, quality, and safety. What's striking is that when we talk to owners, we find common challenges. These challenges include ensuring that you're capturing high quality, real-time information from your field teams, and that you're consolidating that information back into a single repository so that it can be analyzed and used to make faster and better business decisions. Your challenges also include figuring out how to make various software solutions, which were often not built for your industry, work together and work for you. The last one's particularly important because as the owner, you also know it can be difficult to acquire technology solutions that are solely focused on your industry, much less meet your specific business needs. And while there are no solutions today which 100% capture the needs of every business out of the box, there are a couple of things Procore is doing to help you with these challenges. Procore is dedicated to providing not just simple software solutions, but an open, customizable platform. With Procore, you'll experience customizable and configurable tools, flexible enough to support your complex business needs, and an open ecosystem that can serve as a hub for other industry-leading tools. In this way, Procore can serve as a single repository of truth, providing tools to collect and analyze data in ways more powerful than ever before. Today, you're going to hear from some very knowledgeable speakers who have years of experience implementing technology in the construction industry. They're going to share two very different perspectives about the creative ways they have solved some difficult challenges that many of you may be facing today. Our first set of speakers is Chris Lyle from the Rollout Crew and James Olberding from Duke Energy. Together, they're going to tell the story of how they leveraged the Procore platform along with its open architecture and several app marketplace partners to address Duke's critical business needs. Chris is the managing director of the Rollout Crew and a certified Procore consultant. His team at the Rollout Crew specialize in helping businesses efficiently capture custom information from the field through custom Go Forms implementations, and then consolidate that information in Procore for use back at the home office. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to James Olberding, Senior Project Manager at Duke Energy. James has been a certified project management professional since 2004 and has 30 years of experience as a project manager. James is going to talk about the scope of the project from Duke's perspective, as well as some of the benefits of Duke experienced at the conclusion of their project. So to get us started, I'd like to turn it over to James.
Hello, my name is James Olberding, and I'd like to talk about the scope of this project from Duke's perspective. Duke Energy is a Fortune 150 company headquartered in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's one of the largest energy holding companies in America. Its electric utilities serve 7.9 million customers, and its natural gas units serve 1.6 million customers. The Central Corridor Pipeline is a high-pressure gas distribution pipeline that provides gas from interstate transmission lines north of Cincinnati to the central portion of the system. The pipeline is located between interstates I-71 and I-75, approximately 10 miles north of downtown Cincinnati. The pipeline is needed to allow for improved balance of supply from north to south and allows for the decommissioning of two propane peaking facilities. The pipeline is being constructed of 438 wall thick wall pipe that is epoxy coated and will be approximately 13 miles long with two regulation stations at the start ending points and two mainline valve stations at the midpoints along the route. Construction of the Central Corridor Pipeline started in March of 2021 and will be constructed by open cut, 3 horizontal directional drills, and 25 conventional bores. There are from 6 to 9 crews with approximately 250 workers spread across 13 miles of pipeline, as well as over 30 inspectors monitoring daily progress. As you can see, there's a lot of work taking place daily from multiple sources with critical data needing to be consistently captured and provided to the management team so that daily progress by crew can be reviewed. The project is currently 65% complete and will hoping to be completed by December of 2021. Here's Chris Lyle to talk about some of the unique challenges and opportunities associated with implementing Procore based on our unique needs.
Hi there, I'm Chris Lyle, Managing Director of the Rollout Crew, and earlier this year had an amazing opportunity to work with Duke Energy. Duke already had Procore up and running to manage RFIs, alignment sheets and specs, and a host of other data, so it was important to keep things centralized and not complicate things for where people went to find them. That said, the unique challenges of linear construction were surfacing too many gaps for Procore to easily tackle. Unlike vertical construction, the job site on a linear project is a right-of-way, and you don't keep track of where you're at by referencing building levels or units, but by stations, which is just an increment of 100 feet. So whenever a crew starts working, be it clearing or trenching or laying pipe, they have to record what station they're starting at and what station they ended. And this is what's called a start and a stop station. Now the total distance is covered between those 2 points, and relevant quantities are claimed for whatever activity was being performed. Now you might clear 150 feet, but you also laid a dozen truck mats, which are billable, and you got to be able to easily track both. Needless to say, it's not uncommon to have a couple dozen crews spread out along the right-of-way, all tracking how much ground they covered and quantities were used. Add on to all this the common requirement for field sign-off from an inspector and a foreman or a straw boss, and as well as the inherent difficulties that come with laying pipe in remote locations, and you can start to see why linear construction is hard to manage with out-of-the-box construction management software. In Duke's case, as the owner of the project, they needed a way for their inspection team to validate GC field activities and also monitor quality and environmental requirements. Now, while Procore's inspection tool was able to meet a variety of other inspection requirements, it couldn't meet 100% of their needs. Now, that said, the open APIs and third partner integrations supported by the Procore platform ultimately allowed for a really powerful solution to be woven together. GoForms was brought into the conversation to see how their smart forms could meet these unique requirements. And despite the name, GoForms does a lot more than offer fillable PDFs. A form can be auto-populated with predefined data, auto-capture lat-long coordinates, be passed through multiple hands for sign-off, and the list really does go on. But the hallmark of the GoForms product is their workflow engine. And it was this piece that would allow Duke to capture the field data that they needed and pass it back to Procore for centralized reporting and storage. Putting a solution like this together, though, is no small feat. And the design, the vetting, the implementation required some outside professional services. And that's where my team, the Rollout Crew, came in. We were in a unique position to take point on the project because we already had a deep knowledge of Procore, growing fascination with GoForms, and some relevant experience in the midstream oil and gas space. So over the course of 2 months, the Rollout Crew converted over 20 daily inspection reports into GoForms templates. We designed and implemented custom GoForms workflows to push approved data back into Procore's document and inspections tool, as well as a number of Power BI dashboards. Now, importantly, these dashboards were made accessible via Procore Analytics, which helps to keep everyone working in the Procore platform. Now let's get into the weeds of what all this looks like. And there's probably no one better to hear it from than the senior PM on the project. So we'll pass it back to Jamie.
There are wins of all sizes on this project, but here are some that stand out. The inspectors are able to utilize the forms they're already familiar with, only now the forms auto-populate with crew-specific activities to prompt relevant input, which allows easy data entry into their iPads at the job site. The forms also auto-format start-stop stations and automatically calculate the distance covered, regardless of the direction the crew is working. There's also a quality control checklist that must be completed at the bottom of each form, as well as relevant documentation photographs. Once a report is completed in the field, it proceeds through a standardized approval workflow. Upon approval from the inspector supervisor, the form and the data are pushed to Procore, and the form is automatically converted to a PDF. On the progress map page, once the data is uploaded into Procore and SQL, the relevant data is pulled into Power BI that allows for progress mapping and dashboard analytics. The color coding of activities assists with easy review of the type of construction progress along the pipeline. The progress map detail slide shows the drill down capabilities of Power BI. The dashboard not only shows the construction progress map, it also shows additional details like station history and daily progress. The pipe installation page provides details into pipe installation by station, production rates by week or month. All this data is filterable so you can zero in on specific activity or date range to see work performed at that time. In the dashboard, there are links to actual GoForms reports for easy access to the daily forms. Ultimately, this allows the Duke team to measure percent complete and earned value to assist with pay application generation, review, and approval. As Chris mentioned earlier, all this is visible via Procore Analytics. In closing, the Central Quarter project team has acknowledged the following benefits. Efficiencies gained in data capture, allowing field inspectors to be engaged with construction activities in lieu of manual completion of forms. Confidence in the accuracy of field data collected, allowing for timely review and approval of contractor pay applications. Access to near real-time progress updates by construction activities. I'm going to turn it back over to Robert to close us out.
Thank you, Chris and James. As you can see, while it's not always possible to solve every situation with a single product, a platform with an open architecture will go a very long way to helping you solve even the most complex problems. In the next section, you're going to learn how the flexibility and configurability of Procore's internal tools was used to solve several key challenges for an owner and their partners entirely in the box. To get this started, I'd like to turn it over to David McDonald from McDonald Consulting.
Hi, I'm David McDonald from McDonald Consulting. After implementing Procore as a customer in the commercial construction industry, I then started my own consulting company working with other companies to maximize their investment in Procore. While the Procore platform can serve as an integration point for a huge number of third-party solutions, I find that there are a number of very powerful and flexible tools within Procore that I like to start with when helping my customers solve their business objectives. One of the things I tell my clients when they begin using Procore is to forget the names of the tools within Procore. Tools were often named based on the common use case they were designed for, but so many of the tools within the Procore platform have evolved over time that they're flexible enough to solve for very unique customer problems. One example is a specifications tool being repurposed for any kind of safety or environmental plan, such as an SHE manual. I have clients in the energy industry who don't use traditional specifications, and so they don't need the specifications tool for its intended purpose. But they do have safety and environmental manuals that they need every project worker to have quick access to. Sure, they can print off massive physical books and distribute them, or create a single massive PDF and send it out, but those formats can make it difficult to quickly find the right content within the manual. So I've helped clients use the specifications tool to upload, version control, and break up their manuals into easily searchable and readable sections that are available to every employee on any device anywhere in the field. For example, Tyson Foods needed a way for external contractors to submit change requests and to route those requests confidentially to internal reviewers for approval outside of the financial tools. Documenting and sharing these processes with both external and internal users in an easy and efficient way was also critical. The original solution was to use a submittals tool for workflow routing and approvals, but that resulted in a couple of issues. Specific information to review and analyze change requests was required, but couldn't be forced as required since the submittals tool was also being used for actual design and construction submittals. There was no good and easy way to keep internal review and approval communications confidential, as submittal responses are visible to the contractor that created the initial request. We quickly realized we could leverage a correspondence tool to do exactly what Tyson needed. To do this, we focused on two different correspondence types. We created and used a change order request correspondence type to provide external contractors with a purpose-built tool to submit all change order requests. A separate change order approval correspondence type was created to capture all confidential Tyson information related to the change request. All of this worked because of the way the correspondence tool and its permissions were designed. Because the correspondence tool manages permissions independently for each type of correspondence rather than for the tool as a whole, we were able to customize change requests so that both Tyson and external parties could see them, while customizing the change approval to make it viewable by only internal Tyson team members. The benefit of all this was easier, faster, and more accurate and complete information being submitted. The correspondence tool was configured to automatically notify a Tyson team member when a new change order request is submitted by a contractor. The request is then linked to a separate change order approval document. The approval document is linked back to the original request directly within the correspondence item, providing clarity while maintaining confidentiality. This results in external contractors having a simple, purpose-built method to submit change requests. Change requests are no longer mixed in with design and construction submittals. Both external contractors and internal Tyson team members have a way to communicate directly within each change request for status updates and additional information. Custom required fields built into the correspondence items also ensure the Tyson team members receive all required information from the contractor when the request is originally submitted. The change request is linked to an independent change approval document that remains confidential and only available to Tyson team members. The unique permissions functionality of the correspondence tool is what allows for this. Different custom fields are used on the change order approval document to capture necessary information from the Tyson team members. And this bespoke process is fully documented in Tyson's Training Center, built directly into Procore for immediate support. One of the things we discovered during this implementation was that Tyson's users would occasionally require guidance for how to submit a change request using the tools we implemented. To help with this, we leveraged Procore's Training Center to document and communicate the process for each role. Tyson's Training Center homepage allows for quick and easy access to the most commonly used tools, organized into both project phases and by user role. For example, after identifying all the steps required to properly submit and approve a change request using the correspondence tool, this entire process is presented in a user-friendly and straightforward way using Training Center. This, along with a number of other processes, have been fully documented and organized into Tyson's Training Center, allowing users immediate access to customized, company-specific SOPs, all from within Procore. While leveraging third-party integrations with Procore allows for communication with other systems, I find that maximizing the capabilities of Procore's built-in functionality provides some very powerful, out-of-the-box solutions.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Chris and James. As you just heard, we had two very different situations. In the first, we had the rollout crew working with Duke Energy to solve some really complex use cases. They leveraged key third-party app marketplace solutions along with Procore's open ecosystem to collect data from geographically dispersed teams, and then analyze and present key insights back to Duke on how things are going. In the second case, David talked about leveraging the customizable nature of Procore's tools to uniquely solve Tyson's needs completely within the Procore platform. The reality is that no solution today can solve all of a business's problems out of the box. The key is to make sure you have a customizable set of tools to start and an open system that can work seamlessly with other solutions to meet your business needs. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions now.